Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. I didn't do a whole lot today because I just didn't feel like it. Excuse me. I got up and I started rocking and rolling because, yeah, it helped me get in better spirits or something. It was hard rock, pretty darn hard with a Christian message in it. And I was just singing like to the top of my lungs to somebody that was sleeping. So, whatever. So, yeah, that's about what's been going on with me. Well, I put some laundry away and stuff. I mean, normal little things like feeding my girls outside and stuff like that. Taking care of my animals, you know. But yeah, well, I was gonna get on here a little earlier, but I had a cramp on my right side and it wouldn't go away. And it's like, dang it. Every once in a while, I get things like that. Well, everybody does, but yeah, it was one of them. So, yeah. So, yeah, it was a pretty nice day. I mean, actually, physically warmer than yesterday. And just a good day. It was. So, yeah, I hope you all are doing well. Or did I already say that? Well, I do again. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of shooting the breeze. I saw Robin's Hood looking through his pictures yesterday. And for me, I did like about 3 days ago because somebody was talking about pit bulls. And I thought, I wonder if I got a picture of Kroll. And I do. In fact, I got a picture of three of the Mastis type breeds that I have. So I might pull some pictures out someday. And I thought about it and thought about, oh, showing you my kids when they were little and when they're bigger. And yeah, and my ex and my parents that raised me and whatever. And I thought it would have been funny see Jackie Colleen, the Eastern Star Witch. She looks just like George Washington, I swear to God. So I was going to cut out a little black hat and like stick it on her. And she had sent me a picture that I won't put on my wall. I asked her for a copy of a picture of me when I was a baby. It's a very beautiful portrait. And I was one of the prettiest babies I've ever seen, and she would not fucking give me that. She still wouldn't. I said, just have your little gay boy take a picture and send it to me in my email, and they wouldn't even do that. So it's like, yeah. And then she wants me to hang her skank ass up on my wall. It's like, no. I think I've insulted her and her family enough now where she won't be sending me anything anymore, which is good because it's tainted. So, yeah. And cursed to the extreme. So, yeah. Um, I don't know. But yeah, I had pictures on my mind. But oh, my point with that was is whenever I go through it, it's like living a lifetime again, and it's freaking exhausting. When I had a broken arm and my kid wanted me to pull out my pictures to show his girlfriend, it's just like I cannot go through that right now. I have this green suitcase. It's a metal suitcase, and I've got old documents and things. And the lucky thing is when I left my house for 2 weeks, I took that with me because all my important papers were in that. And there was a strong box, but my ex took that with along with a lot of the pictures and some personal portraits that I had made of my kids that he didn't pay for, that type of thing. So, which was really dirty. But anyway, um, yeah, because he didn't contribute to the household, is putting it mildly. So, um, yeah, so going down memory lane isn't always good. It's exhaustive, especially if there's like bad vibes with some of the people that are there and whatnot. And Um, then there was this, or is this overdue champ, my adopted dad, being from Pontiac, Michigan, by the way. Um, his parents were from Sweden and Finland, and he looks just like the overdue champ, almost. Except my dad was huge, huge, big. I'll show you sometime. He didn't start out that way, but running a jackhammer, like a 90-pound jackhammer and that type of thing, well, that I even tried it. That's not easy shit. I tried the 35-pound, and whoa, I couldn't even, like, I held the 90-pound when he was in back of me, and I was like, whoa, okay. But that helped with my salsa dancing. If you can think about that, that's funny, huh? True story. When I was salsa, it's like, oh, brought to mind jackhammering. Okay. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Imagine doing that all day long, breaking up big chunks of like concrete or asphalt or something you got to get through. He would fix broken water mains, and he ran a crew, and so he didn't always run the crew, but he started out, like anybody. So I would have been working for the city too if I worked in city limits. I almost got a job in that same as a yard person. They called it yard man, but obviously. So yeah, but yeah, I didn't live close enough. I think it was like mm, he had to be able to get there in about a half hour, and I probably could have, but that would have been crazy. That would have been like over 100 miles an hour. It was about 40 miles away, but then the closer you get to the city, too, the more time it takes if you hit any lights or whatever. So yeah, but even way back when, I think it was like 13 or $9 an hour, or nine, and then it went to 13 after like 6 months or something. So them city workers, they, at least in Minnesota, got paid well. And that was back in, I'm going to say, probably 1978, 77 or 78, maybe a little earlier. Somewhere in there, I got offered that job. So, yeah, all you had to really be able to do was read and write. When my dad started, you didn't even need a high school education to work there. But then that changed, so he went to get his GED, and then he went to school at night. Or I mean, I did this before during the day and worked at night. And then later in years, he went for small engines and boilers and became a janitor. And then I became a janitor at the same place, a sub. And then I became a sub food service worker for the school too, and then moved into where they had me, well, as full time as you can get as a kitchen aide, which is like 6 hours a day. And then I get home in time to feed my kids supper, which was cool, you know. And I get to eat at the school too, which I love because they had like an extreme cool salad bar. So, yeah. And other things. We were good cooks. So, yeah. There was 13 of us, and we all got along pretty good. If it hadn't have been that the head cook was my adopted mom, I had to go. Could not stand it. I worked for that school system for 5.5 years. So that's the longest I ever stayed anywhere in my work. So, and when I was young, I never stayed anywhere until I was almost 35 years old. I came here and haven't left. So, um, but yeah, 34, thereabouts. But anyway, yeah, I used to just go wherever I wanted to go and do whatever I wanted to do. make some money and move on. You know, just kind of, it's the way it was. And I do kind of long for that type of life sometimes, you know, just get up and go. Hey, um, let's go to Utah, or let's go to Missouri, or, whatever. The first thing I did was I headed to Florida. I was 15. I was going to pick oranges. I think I told, if you been listening to me, you heard that story before, but yeah, I had a quarter in my swimsuit, a paper bag, my jean jacket, and some shorts, jeans. But I got busted for running away, so they got me in Alabama and stuck me in a reformatory thing, or like child service type. I forget what they called, juvenile detention center is what they called it. Yes, I was detained. So till they could get me back to Minnesota. They put these all points bulletins out on me all the time just for running away. So finally I just went to the courts and said, this is enough of this. Um I'm not going back there, period, no matter what you do. And one time when they put me in an adult jail, then they moved me to this institute, which I really didn't belong there. Well, the idiots left up my pocket knife in my pant pocket, and well, it was a pen knife. They couldn't really see it. So at night, I was taking this gummy stuff out of this window, and the window was about 3 foot by 4 foot, I think, if I remember. It might have been 5 foot, but it was really funky. Okay, so I got this gummy shit out. It was this black gummy shit. There were building blocks, blocks the place was made out of. It was kind of Lionel Lakes, and um, okay, so well, anyway, uh, I peeled all that gooey stuff out, and I knocked the window out, and it fell out on the ground, and it didn't break, and I was like, oh, I could not believe it. It was like, okay, because this witch, I would have stayed there, but this witch come up when it was time to eat something, and she was really freaking snotty with me, and I think she was a dyke. I don't give a shit. This is plain truth. And she insulted my integrity, and I just flat kind of, I didn't insult her. I was doing exactly what she told me to do, but she was being a bitch about it, and she didn't have no call to do that. She didn't know me from Adam, and if that's the way you treat a kid, well, even if I were a delinquent, you still don't treat people like that. You try to help lift them up, and so the poor teacher she was, so whatever. So I was just kind of laughing all the way to the bank when she left that knife in my pocket, because I was thinking, I could stab you. You're stupid, I could have hurt her anyway. She's like this big around and about yay tall, and yes, Mac, But I wasn't in, I don't really hurt people, but she was lucky. So anyway, I got out and I ran across the road, and I hid in these culverts till it got daylight. And then I took off and hitchhiked and got a ride to my friend's house, just really close to where I was living with my parents, and babysat some kids and lived there for a while the mom worked, and got to see all my friends around the town and everything for quite some time before I got in trouble again. And then they sent me to a group home. And my dad, being a city worker, tried to stop me from talking to a couple black guys outside of McDonald's downtown. And I was working a little bit, making my own money and going to school. And he gave me a ride back home to the group home. And he had no business doing that, none whatsoever. So anyway, I was taking judo and yoga, and a kid was teaching me kung fu, and yeah, it was fun. I was having a great time, but they just would not leave me alone. And so, um, that was after I came back from Florida and all that. So finally, I took off from that group home because the kid that was teaching me kung fu was going to kill me because I did a move on him, a judo move, and insulted him. I knew I was never going to be safe around there again. And that's the truth of it. Not that I couldn't have took him. It's just that oh, and then my feelings got hurt at that group home too, but that's a whole nother story. So with all this going on, I had no reason to even stay there either. So then I took off. So I got busted again. Then I got put in this place called Home of the Good Shepherd. And it was supposed to be, it wasn't a reform school, it was a Catholic girls' school. And I just told him after my friend died there, she killed herself because of her stepmom. I just told him, and you heard this too, some of you, but yeah, I got emancipated by the state. I got my own place, got a job. I was working as a student teacher at Snail Lake Middle or Elementary, and um, I worked at a middle school too. But so yeah, it just been a long life in some respects, but I can't complain. I mean, I do have a good life as far as I'm happy with God in my soul, and I know the outcome of all this baloney. It just it that's what makes me so angry because not in a sense waiting for it all to be over, but I'm not blaming God on that stuff. And I just really hate this terminology. They go big G and little g. It's like G, F, and G. I'm sick of that crap. I'm sick of all these people in their little fancy flipped up face words. A bunch of bullshit. Can't even speak English. You don't know English. You gotta like big G, little g. What the hell is that? Is a big God and a little God? No. There's only one God, and that's the big G. The little g should be kind of like squelch, you know? So that's more than an opinion, that's a fact. That's insulting to God. So I'm not like a big mom and there's a little mom, or there's a big dad and a little dad. That's ridiculous. You know, got these people with their new wave matrix and um another thing that bugs me, what the hell? Oh, the realm. I guess okay, realm. Whatever. Um Let me think. I'll think of some things that bug me. Maybe what I'll call this video. Um like 3D realm and 5D, and people are disgusting. Um, One thing I will say, I guess I won't name it that because I don't want to go off on a tangent there. I'll just start getting more pissed. But Jeffrey Darty had today, he was talking about meditation and prayer, which I've told people, honoring God and thanking Him, that type of thing is a whole lot different than being in meditation and opening yourself up in that area. And, or see, you're supposed to totally clear your mind, and it is possible. So if you do hear something in there, then it's not of God, that's for sure. And that's why I've tried to tell people too, don't even meditate and pray. It's like um and oh, I don't know. And they say, well, any God that would want you to worship him. Well, yes and no. He's not with us right now for us to honor him with worship, I guess. I'm not guessing. that's one thing where my opinion did differ with that, because now if we're right in his house, that's different. We wouldn't have the need to worship, but he's not here with us right now, only in spirit. So, um, yeah, it'd be like my kid worshiping me in the same house. Now, if I were to die and he wasn't with me, or I was distant, very distant, he might have like worship mom's birthday day or something like that, you know, in a different sense of thinking, like out of honor, you know. But I mean, I'm not going to say I would want that out of my son. I wouldn't. But I mean, yeah, I guess in a manner of speaking, Dowdy had a great show today about meditation. I know he's on the right track. So yeah, I'm proud of him. He's a good kid. So yeah, good man. Kids are always like 10 years my junior or more. you so yeah. Well, maybe I will let this one go. If I think of something else, or I might be on here later. I don't know if I'm in a fast tonight or not. I'm like iffy on it. I'm thinking I might and might not. So, yeah, it's been a while. It'll be time. Like I say, I do detox daily, but that's still not totally cleaning myself out, and nothing really is. But I do ask for forgiveness for that. I truly do. But so I'm not just like ragging on people telling you what to do and being a hypocrite about it. No, um, I'm pointing out dangers that I've had, that I know how to overcome that, and that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I do know, in a sense, um, like I say, I just think it's my soul is older or something. Like I'll tell you guys something, and I was talking about meditation and prayer just like about a month ago, and now somebody else was. So it's like if you think something and it's out there, or maybe he actually even listened to me. Hmm, maybe I listened to him, but maybe he actually hears my thoughts, though, that which I've always kind of thought he might have, because there's been too many coincidences that where I thought something, him and Sandra, I think something, and then they go ahead and say it. It's like, God, you're good kids. you know. So I'm serious about this too. I can't prove it, but it's true. you know. It's just like when I was young. Well, this wasn't thinking, but when I was young, I was mad at a dipstick, and I called him a fuckwad, and then all of a sudden, like years later, I heard that term, and it's like, hey, that's my term, and I used to call a cat rat bastard. Then all of a sudden, I'm like hearing this all over the place. And this next one is a true story. My kids and I were here, and what is that term now? Let me think. Um, mm, Doug did something stupid, and he turned around and said, instead of that was bad of me or bad, he goes, my bad. And the next thing I know, about 10 years later, this crap's like all over the place, my bad. But when he said it, the kids and I just freaking roared with laughter. I mean, it was crazy. That's crazy. Um, and it is disrespectful to people too. If it's your bad, you should say, gee, that was bad of me. And really own up to it like a human being, instead of keeping it short in words to protect your own ego. It's like, whatever. If you're actually sorry, then just say it the right way. My bad. You damn right, you're bad. so, yeah. that's just the way I feel about that. But anyway, oh yeah, and I was watching JB Rock. I got halfway through the one. I watched the short one, and then I got halfway through the other one, which I actually watched first, but with disgusting people in Flint, Michigan, and court stuff and stuff like that. For me, it it does remind me of like sitting in a cell and all I have to do is watch news. I can't hardly stand it. So I'll watch it on a limited basis perhaps. If it's something like that, I'll turn it on, listen a little bit, and it's like, yeah, more perverted, deviated public official bullshit and everybody else in the world, and it's like, yeah, they're dirty. Damn right. And yeah, they should be nailed to the cross. I really think, and Doug had a great idea about Hillary Clinton, which is probably like his literally sixth cousin. Well, anyway, yeah, sick cousin. Um, that she should be hung like they did in the old days, except he said by her balls. And I said, how about by her feet? But yeah, balls sounds about appropriate in the town square, you know. So that, like they used to with the guillotines, too, put the guillotine out there to make an example out of the one that had done the crime. So, anyway, okay, I'm going to say peace and love, and I probably will be back. Maybe I'll put a little music on later, and uh, I'll upload this one and think about. Oh, I had some other things on my mind too that I was going to talk about, but hmm, this was a really good day full of lots of loud, hard rock and roll, and I barely touched a soft song except for Ghost by Coldplay, which is kind of like my song anyway. So, anyway. Yeah, look up the words sometimes. You'll be amazed. So, anyway, peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Love you.